a short video for everyone. So, all right, I'm going to start off. Everybody that we have here is a member and has been to every one of our meetings, or some of the meetings in the past. Okay. I don't know if everybody can see the agenda here. Just a basic agenda. Rather than having paper, President's report, Treasurer's report, Buildings and Grounds report, membership update, a day in the country, merchandise, and our program. Health, a history of Liberty Grove Public Safety. All right, I'm gonna take out my gum. All right, this year has really sent us all on one heck of a roller coaster ride. Many of us are navigating through, wondering if today we go up or today we go down. Will tomorrow bring us on a hard right turn or a huge loop-de-loop? And it has been much of the same with your board of the Liberty Grove Historical Society. We have been navigating through much uncertainty to try to determine which course we will take you on for the year 2020. What was supposed to be a 20th anniversary celebration for all of us, including a party and a delicious cake, has turned into just staying the course at hand for the remainder of the year. In May, we decided to go ahead with our annual fish boil fundraiser, but 2020 COVID style, carry out. It wasn't an easy decision. Many of our volunteers are, myself included, mature age. We didn't want to compromise anyone's health, but we wanted a traditional fish boil. We wanted to raise money for our society, for these funds are what helps offset our mortgage payments. It wasn't an easy decision, but with our group of dedicated volunteers, we were able to pull it off without a hitch. Charlie Henriksen was phenomenal this year in getting us our fish that we needed. Kurt Knudsen agreed to be our master boiler. Dan and Wendy Peterson, along with Tassie Knudsen and Bob Quayler, all of the Vikings, helped us all stay the course with delicious cherry pies and scrumptious roasted chicken. Our volunteers helped fill the cracks with wonderful Liberty Grove hospitality. Kudos to Jan Newport and Cheryl Culver with publicity and volunteering the day of. Also, Carrie and Ron Shue, personal friends of mine, which are not Historical Society members. Dave and Liz Weston, Dave and Bonnie Coulson, myself, and my daughter Abby. I'm happy to report that a profit of over $5,000 was made. We are next attempting to give you a sliver of taste with a very modified and scaled back tractor show. What we decided as a board was to get as many tractors to the top of the hill. Our focus with this was to encourage individuals to get a nice picnic lunch from one of our lovely restaurants and coffee houses and bring it up to the top of the hill for a quaint picnic lunch. It's time for us to give back to our businesses that have helped us throughout the years. Let's help them survive this COVID year. Our program tonight is going to be on the first responders and the public safety of Liberty Grove. So I'd like to share with you my personal first responder history with you. It brings back very hard memories, but grateful memories at the same time. I've never shared this publicly, but many moons ago, I had a special friend that was in a fatal car accident. And ironically, that moment will be forever etched in me. Not of a horrible experience, but instead of really how much of a treasure that the Liberty Grove has in the members of the first responders and our fire department. The evening my friend was killed, I got that dreadful knock on the door. My friends Ruth Telfer and Wendy Smith were standing at my back door and said, "You need to come, there's been an accident." The quiet ride to the site up near Gills Rock will permanently be etched in my brain. Although it's something that I hope and pray that no one else goes through, I'm comforted with the fact that it was the first responders that stood there and carried all of our grief. They allowed myself and the family one last goodbye as they explained to us the normal yet hard to grasp scene of a fatality and what the body goes through after death. Chief Heck held my hand as he explained what to expect at the scene. My appreciation for both those men and women that were there that evening have never been greater. I shared that scene near Gills Rock with one of my board members, Lon Kapitsky. I am honored to be part of the Liberty Grove area. I will always carry a piece of it with me no matter where I go. And I would like to personally thank the first responders and fire department for keeping our area safe and loved. Until that moment, I hadn't experienced the love our community has. That love is due to the dedicated community members that make up our wonderful first responders and fire department. Our meetings will continue on Facebook Live for the rest of the year 2020. Our normal meeting nights, as always, are the third Monday of the month, May through October. So plan to join us here through the middle of October. My cup is full. Thank you. All right. Barb, would you like to share a few numbers? Do you mind if I take my mask off, everybody?
No.
I can understand you. Yeah, put my glasses back on so I can see what I'm doing.
I emailed out financials earlier. I didn't have them all. Stephanie just gave me updated numbers, and she told you what the fish well was. 5,100 is the total on that, which I think is amazing. And also the individual contributions, contributions are not right on here because of, it's all credit card stuff. And then until Stephanie got it fixed just today, and we didn't have correct totals. So that went, the donations went from $25.55 up to $36.80 as they stand now. So well over last year. Fish well over last year. We're doing good for the kind of year it is. We are doing good, I have to say, and I hope everybody agrees with that, because the numbers don't lie. I mean, it really has been a terrific year for what we're going through here. So I guess just all I can say is hope it keeps up. Thank you, everyone.
Dave up next, right?
Buildings and grounds, few things. Pine Cottage has had some siding pieces replaced and windowsills. Al is in process painting it right now. Final paint should be done Wednesday, we're hoping. Inside the barn, if you get a chance to go in there, we finished the window trim inside. Trim and sills, and on the north end has new vinyl windows. We took out the old wood ones. On the grounds there are many new signs around on the buildings as well as various places pointing things out, so take a look at those. We have this nice combine that Liz and I brought up here, so be sure you look at that. Also, just so you guys know, you guys that aren't here, this place is gorgeous. You need to come up here and see it. Come anytime, walk around. It's just wonderful. That's what I have. Great. Thank you.
Can you just give us a membership update?
Membership too. Membership, we have currently 190 members. I can't tell you how that compares to past, although I'm just looking at, we have a book about Liberty Grove, and in the forward of that, they talk in 2005 about having 240 members. So I guess we need to have some more. So you guys that aren't here, where are your memberships? Thank you.
Cheryl, would you like to talk more? So with the collaboration of Cheryl and Tina Gann, they did this beautiful poster for us. And it kind of, I'm going to actually kind of read it. Sorry. No tractor show per se, art and crafts, no, but we are going to encourage tractors to come to the top of the hill this Saturday. From 10 to 3, bring a carry-out picnic, go to one of the restaurants or coffee houses in Ellison Bay and Gills Rock, grab a picnic lunch and come to the top of the hill. We're asking that people wear masks, and we will ask and try to patrol social distancing to a certain extent. Everybody should know that we need to social distance, but from 10 to 3 up here, Grandma's Bakery, Last Stop Deli, Brew Coffee House, Viking Grill, Mink River Basin, Shoreline Restaurant, Kick Ash. We always have plenty of room at the top of the hill to fly a kite. Bring your yard games. We have plenty of room to do yard games out in the field. It's nicely mowed. Thank you, Dave. Nicely mowed. It's nicely groomed. Thank you, Al and Mary. We have wonderful people that take care of the grounds. Linda. We have wonderful people that take care of the grounds up here. We will have, our walking paths will be, obviously, we're hoping that there will be people that will fill the walking paths. Social distance. Our buildings, we will have a few of our buildings open with a chain across the door, but you'll be able to take just a little sneak peek inside. So, anyway, come and join us this Saturday. It's not the tractor show that we hoped for, but this is going to be the next best thing. So that's this Saturday. Cheryl, would you like to talk to us about some merchandise?
I brought my personal collection. I own it all. I do. We worked really hard to get high quality merchandise that actually was going to wash up use after use, and it really has exceeded my expectations. We went through FLS down in Sturgeon Bay, and they were fabulous to work with, so it was nice to work with a local organization. And we worked hard to keep the prices low, just so that everyone could enjoy. But
Pull that out, Cheryl.
we've got the pricing. So on the t-shirts, I have two colors, a denim, which is closer probably to a navy, and also a red rock. And those sell for $20, and the hoodie, which is only in navy, that's a full zip, and that also sells for $40. And the hat, which I've got right here, the hat sells for $25, and that's mostly because of the embroidery. When something's a little bit more, that's where that cost comes from. And the apron, we're only charging $10, and it's great. It's adjustable for the length, and it really washes up nicely. washed this about 30 times, and it's still keeping its very vibrant red color. We also have some, we still have other items that are available, and I believe my contact information is on the website. So if anybody's interested, I will bust my backside to make sure that I get you whatever it is that you wish. Thank you.
Alright. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to add before we get into our program? Do you have anything you'd like to add? Okay. I'm also going to start with a little story because it's history, and that's what we're really all about. We bought our cottage in Ellison Bay in 1994, and we came up to our cottage every other weekend without missing. We missed, graduations, baby showers, whatever. But it was our haven away from work and stress. Once we turned onto Highway 151 in Sun Prairie and headed north, we were not allowed to mention work or any of the stress, not the remodeling of a house or cleaning or whatever. It was taboo. Couldn't talk about it. We would leave Madison area around 5 o'clock, give or take a little bit. And we would arrive up in Ellison Bay at our cottage about 9-ish. Well, one very, very foggy, warm June night, I think it was in 1996 or 1997, we arrived at our usual time, and the routine was for Michael to run in and turn on the pump, and we would run the outside hose for about 10-15 minutes because the cottage had sat for 2 weeks. We wanted to get that water out. So while we unloaded the car, he'd go out, he'd come in, we would pass each other. And in passing, Michael said he went out, turned on the hose, grabbed the hose to stretch it out, and he said, "I got nailed by a wasp." So the wasp stung him on his index finger. So we continued to unload the car. Pretty soon I didn't see him. I went in and he came out of the bathroom and he said, "This is getting really bad, we gotta do something." So our tradition was after we loaded the car, we would sit in and have some cheese and crackers and maybe a beer. Well, this night that wasn't gonna happen. Within 10 minutes, he was going into anaphylactic shock. He was covered in hives. He was really in trouble. At that time, who had a cell phone? We had a bag phone that was about the size of this. Michael worked at a phone company. Luckily enough, we had a bag phone. This bag phone would get the reception and transmit from Marinette over here. It had a range of probably 5 times what any one of the high cell phones had. Were we lucky we had it. He'd just gotten it from work. So I had said, well, I'll find some Benadryl earlier. But then when he came in and said, no, we got to do something, I had to go back out in the car because it was plugged in the cigarette lighter, get the bag phone, come inside. I called 911. Let's see. Okay, a jump person arrived that was, she said, I live nearby. I'd love to find out who that person was. They had jump teams back there that would arrive first, assess the situation, and then the ambulance or whatever would arrive.
she told me, she said, go outside, turn on all your lights, and make sure that that ambulance doesn't go by. Because at that point, Michael was really in trouble. So we had one light at the front door and one little light out of the garage. Well, I turned those on. But when she said make sure you don't let them go by, I knew we were in trouble. Well, that particular night, it was, like I said, foggy, warm, humid. So I went out to the end of the driveway, and I'm waiting for the ambulance, and I'm just, getting nervous. It hadn't been that long. Pretty soon I see the lights coming up the street, and this big pile ran right across in front of it. I mean, it was really surreal, I'm not kidding. So by the time they came in and they could not find his blood pressure at that point. So, let's see, they had epinephrine right there on the spot. The paramedic kept saying to me, don't you have any more lights in this place? Because we had, 2 little lamps and a light bulb in it. We hadn't remodeled it at all. It was a typical 70s, 80s cottage, very, very basic. We still laugh about that now. Once in a while we'll say, don't you have any more lights in the house? Anyway, it was funny. At the time we could laugh then. I mean, we can laugh now. It wasn't really funny. Think back on this, I think how fortunate we were to be in a situation that we had paramedics, we had a jump team, we had people that come in. I mean, this was way back in 96, 97, I'm not sure about the date. But the EMS was founded in 1990. So, they were still basic at that time. But so anyway, by the time, let's see, I still think what would have happened? He probably would have died because, at that time we did not have an EpiPen or anything. So it was very crucial. And I'm sure that these scenarios played out over the years many, many times in Liberty Grove and Sister Bay. And there's many, many stories just like this one, first responders. And now they're paramedics, which is great. Okay, the good story is that Michael had 5 years of accelerated desensitizing injections, 5 years. And each one of those shots, he did it every 5 weeks, I think, for 5 years. Each one of those shots was the equivalent of a hornet sting in his arm. So anyway, that's the good news. Okay, so in 2017, we were in Tucson, and they had the Vietnam visiting wall there. So they were just getting started on their Veterans Memorial. We had already, had ours. Our first bricks were laid in 2016. So I talked to them, and they said, oh, we're going to add a first responders memorial to the same spot where our Veterans Memorial is. So when I returned to Door County, of course, I presented to the board that I would like to dedicate one section of our Heritage Walkway to the first responders. And thank you to the board, they jumped on that. And our first bricks were laid in 2019. So I just want to tell everybody, you can be a part of this great, memorial that we have out here. We really have 3 memorials. We have the Veterans Memorial, now we have the First Responders Memorial, and of course we have the Heritage Walkway. And anybody in Liberty Grove can buy a brick to be a part of one of those sections. We also, other than the First Responders Memorial, we have a section for Liberty Grove or anybody to thank the first responders for a situation like Stephanie had or myself, to thank them for their wonderful work that they've done over the years. We have one brick already going in, and it's just a friend of one of our members, and she wanted to buy a brick just to thank her for all of the time and effort that she's put in. So It'll have her name on it, it'll say first responder. That will be one of the bricks that will be going in this year. So we do hope to have a dedication for the memorial, for the first responders memorial next year. It was planned for May 31st this year, but because of COVID we couldn't have it. So we're hoping that that will happen next year. And anyway, if anybody's interested in a brick, please contact me at flowerlinda@msn.com. So now we are going to have I'm going to turn it back to Stephanie, and I think she'll start the video from Chris Hecht. Thank you.
And we're here to talk a little bit today about our first responder group, or really how that first responder group got started, what was the driving impetus, who were the people behind those events and those efforts. Back in 1989, 1990 is really when that happened. Door County is a little unique in that we have a county-wide EMS service that provides paramedic level transport to all the residents in Jessup, Door County. And then it falls on each individual municipality to provide first response or volunteer first responders to get to the scene first and begin to provide immediate care and stabilization of the patient. Sometimes it's a volunteer group, sometimes it's either a local fire department. And Thread is really unique in that we're what's called a tiered system, or a tiered response system, where we have the professional county level paramedics, and then we have the volunteer EMRs that are actually there ahead of them, providing that initial care, and then helping the paramedics. In the mid to late 80s, many first responder groups in Door County started to be formed. There was the Village of Town of Lake Harbor went first, and at the point of state volunteer first responder group. In northern Door County, specifically the villages, the village of Ephraim and the town of Liberty Grove, there was no volunteer group that provided that initial level of care up until about 1989 or 1990. In 1989, there were a group of volunteers who recognized the need in the county as they recognized the need that wasn't being met, and they set out to form their own not-for-profit organization called the Northern Door First Responders. That was a grassroots effort, and we'll read the names of those people that we believe were instrumental in starting that in a little bit. But it was a grassroots effort. They went out and formed the 501c3 organization, not-for-profit. They were recognized by the state and IRS as not-for-profit. And then started a long-term thing of raising funds to provide service and training for their members. That effort took quite some time, but they were very successful in it. And in August of 1990, that group went live. In other words, they started to receive dispatches from the Door County Sheriff's Department. So now when you called 911, you didn't just get the ambulance. You got the Northern Door First Responders and the ambulance. Oftentimes, reducing the length of time it took for that initial level of care to get to you, especially if you, for example, lived in Gills Rock, and the ambulance was coming from Sister Bay, and at that time the paramedics weren't even in-house. So the paramedics had to distress, put on the station, get the ambulance, and respond to Gills Rock. Oftentimes you were looking at 15 to 18 minutes response time for an ambulance for the northern sections of what has now become our fire area. And that first responder group really minimized to reduce that timeline of that care. Those first responders were able to come on scene and give initial report, provide initial care, and kind of give the ambulance a heads up as to what's going on. And then once the ambulance got there, they continued to assist the paramedics. That group, and I have this here in the third exposure, which has been 21 active volunteers. And at that time, they received no compensation, purely 100% volunteer. As the county grew and EMS service got busier, it became even busier, and that group then transitioned into under the fire department where it is today. So today, the Northern Door First Responders in name as a 501c3 remains intact and supports the fire department, supports our efforts to provide that continuation of their foundation of service in the county. But to put that in perspective, in 2019, so our last year, we ran 468 EMR calls in just the town of Liberty Grove and Hogan. So growth has been quite significant as far as response and the stuff to help. And we don't see that changing. Again, though, the volunteers are the core of our system. We do not have any full-time employees after the Liberty Grove Fire Department. They do receive a small pushing sum for going on calls. But again, that foundation all comes back to the late 80s, early 90s by a group of volunteers who saw a need and addressed that need in the county, or in the northern part of the county. And those founding members are Michelle Hefty, Joe Burris, Niles Bieber, Lee Telfer, Mike Skell, Adam Johnson, Catherine Reddy, Barb Walls, Annie Elbert, John Cox, Mike Ramley, Harry Hybert, Kurt Sherman, and Bruce Wackenhut. So that group of people really took it upon themselves to identify the needs, to go out and raise the funding, to get the training, to buy the equipment, and then follow through with all of the state requirements, state licensing. It was no small task, and anything, no individuals, 75 cents for what they've done for the county and the community for really something like that.
So I just want to let everybody know that wasn't an ideal audio, but this will be available on our Facebook page. We have it scheduled to go live at just a little bit after 8 o'clock, so you can re-watch the video on there, and that will be on there for a minute. At some point, we will try to get the video onto our website, but after 8 o'clock, it will be on our Facebook page for further viewing. So, Brenda, do you want to take us just over to where the walkway begins for this?
Section where John is standing, this is the section, we have one brick that the society has purchased that says thank you to the Liberty Grove Sister Graham first responders. So that brick will go in there, and then anybody who wants to thank the first responders, the brick would go in this next section. The next section we are going to have replaced this September. We're going to try to do one section until they're all done, and then we can just, put bricks in as people purchase them. So that's
Linda, what will fill in that section?
in the middle. What will happen here is as fire and EMS people, paramedics retire, their brick will go in here, and that's totally at the discretion of the fire department. They choose whose brick goes in there, and only the fire department. So somebody brought up, well, what about the sheriff? Well, if somebody comes up with an idea that they want to do, we have 3 more sections can put entire sheriff in there. If they wanna buy a brick form, we could make one section for them. But right now, this is for first responders, which are fire and EMS.
It looks so
If
good.
you'll notice, these were the people that were on the committee to form the EMS, EMTs. They started out EMTs, then they became EMS, and now they're paramedics. You have to go to a lot longer school to be a paramedic. But I don't know, if you look at some of these names, I mean, Lee Telfer, we all know who that is. Barb Waltz, if you remember, she was a waitress at the Bowl. And if people know Barb, she, you know, a little round face and always laughing. We loved her, she was great. But I'm sure if you look at the names, you'll recognize some of the other people on there. And they were the founding members. And if you'll notice the different insignia, they have a name for it. That's the EMS, and then the fire has a different shield than the EMS people. So now if, say we have a brick for, probably the next brick that's going to go in here will be Todd Bakes, because he passed away this year. And I have talked to Chris, and they probably will be on the brick. You know, I don't know who that will be until they decide. So we don't make the decisions on this. Chris and also Stacy B has been helping out with that too. So when I can't get a hold of Chris, talk to Stacy. But anyway, they decide what bricks go in there. Stacy had the idea, well, let's do this here and let's do this here, and then we can just scatter the people as they retire in the middle. I thought that was a great idea.
So some are both.
Pardon?
Some are both.
Yeah,
Fire and
right, and that way they can have this insignia on and that one. And that will happen. We can put them one in each corner. So
If people are looking for something really special to do to add bricks, some kind of commemoration of 2006, July 10th, when the explosions occurred in Ellison Bay. The paramedics, the fire, everyone, the first responders were incredibly wonderful, and then they followed it through the next 6 weeks for all those who lived there who needed help getting back into their homes or finding homes, even food, things like that. But they were wonderful, and I hope that some buddies will contribute some bricks in thanks for that effort. It was outstanding.
They're doing the same effort now with the pandemic stuff. Through the winter, through the spring months, they've been delivering food, doing shopping for people, delivering prescriptions so people didn't have to go out. It's a wonderful bunch of people.
very essential people. My long range goal is to have a pedestal here of some kind for the reception. But I don't want any of that money to come out of our kitty. I would like that to sometime have it through donations. So that would be, it would be smaller than those, much smaller. But then we'd have that insignia on it and that, just the same, like right here, we could take out one of the bushes and move the bench. But I think that would be some way to mark this, you know, other than just having this. So I think that would run about $600, between $500 and $600. We could pour our own footing right there to hold that. So that's you know, my long range goal for that.
Alright, thanks for coming to our July meeting, everybody.
It was just a ball.
Masks and everything. So look for the video. It'll post to our Facebook page just a little bit after 8 o'clock if you want to hear the video a lot better. So, all right, thank you, everyone.
That big group who's walking along the